Hey, thanks for stopping by. I'm Digital Micro. You're on the Digital Micro Trading Journal, and we wanted to talk about Monday's order flow trading for January 23 levels above and below. Let's get to the charts. Volume profile, first one I'm sharing for the year 2023. Upper level, I'm going to share right here with this red arrow. That's coming at 1892. Where we're at and where we've been basically for the whole Globex Monday is this middle high volume node, so the middle red arrow, and that's coming in at 75.5. This is the lower HVN. If we do get there again, that's some confluence at 64.5, and I'll later show in the other charts how that's an important area. So there you have it. Area zones above, middle, and below. 24-hour, this little red bar is where we're at deep into Europe Globex. So bulls, of course, have the advantage. We're going into a new week, and upper middle Bollinger Band is pointed up, and it's way below at 1814. So that's one advantage. Number two, the year-to-date anchored VWAP 1834.9, call it 1835. That's way below. Number three, we have an 1864 with this blue dot is the volume weighted average price of last Friday. The overnight pivot here on this red dot line, 876.8. On the order flow strength of the hits are about 0. And we do have nothing on the pace, of course, because there is no order flow to speak of. And the range is only 9 handles. I'm going to need to go to the lower time frames for context. Let's go to the charts on the next one. Okay, the 120 here. What I like about this 120 is we're 12 candles from touching the middle Bollinger Band, so that's decent. And the Bollinger Bands themselves, upper here coming at 86.9, lower at 34.5. Middle is right at 60.8 in the screen line. 81 EMA is 64, but yeah, 64, 65 seems doable later in the day, probably in the RTH session. As far as the strength of the hits with this red arrow, no order flow, so it's not there. And cumulative is green and above 0, and that's usually a lag. But you, again, look at the red candle. I'm going to follow price. And right now, price is below this overnight pivot, coming in at just under 77. That's the key here on this 120. Much better than the 24-hour for a day trading perspective. Next chart. Renko-Keltner, my favorite money chart. So here we are with this black line dividing last Friday's close above the upper Keltner and how we opened here. So here's the overnight pivot. And bottom line here, this red line is the middle, so big deal. Price in a 9-point range is still hugging the red. Lowers coming in at 65.2. So again, confluence with that 120 I mentioned at 64. So 65, 64 is a level here. That is confirming. And then as far as the day one VWAP, we're way up here on 74, 75. So not going to put any size on until we get the blue above, and that's coming in 83 or below, and that is 65.2. And the red again, 74.5. Okay, that kind of does that for the price action. Order flow hits again is very muted on strength of the hits. Both on strength of the hits here, you can see we're a little bit red, green, a little bit on cumulative delta, pace a little bit red. Okay, so that kind of wraps the charts. Have a plan, trade the plan, and number one, of course, is risk management. Take care.